Yeah. All right. So Job chapter 9. Look, Job is not everybody's cup of tea, as evidenced by your faces every week. And you're counting down, you go, God, what are we moving on? Unfortunately, it's a long book, so we stay here as long as I want. So chapter 9, Job's replying to Bildad, who's one of the friends. And you're going, good grief. Nothing changes while we're reading. It's I can't think about it. This book is 2,500 years old, 500 BC. And he's writing like this. And this is writing, look, he's castigating God. Don't kid yourself. Well, as we're going to see. Let's read 9:2. Nick? Job's talking.
Job's not talking?
No, Job is talking. Okay. Start at 9:1.
Then Job answered and said.
Oh, do I need to make it bigger?
That's great. Then Job answered and said, truly, I know that it is so. But how can a man...
What's this? What did he know is so? It's what Bildad just said. What the friend just said in the previous speech, which we read last week. I don't expect you to remember, but essentially, if you do bad, you get punished. If you do good, you do well. He goes, I know that's true, but that's the very next word.
But how can a man be in the right before God?
And that, I want to have an argument with God, is what Job's saying, because this ain't right. But how can you do that? Because whatever I do, he's God. He can twist things. And even if I'm right, I'm wrong. He's God. So go ahead.
If one wished to contend with him, one could not answer him once in 1,000 times.
How do you do that?
He is wise in heart and mighty in strength. Who has hardened himself against him? Who has hardened himself against him and succeeded? It
doesn't happen. You don't win that battle.
He who removes mountains and they know it not, when he overturns them in his anger, who shakes the earth out of its place and its pillars tremble, who commands the sun and it does not rise, who seals up the stars, who alone stretched out the heavens and trampled the waves of the ocean.
Sorry.
Right. Who made the bear of Orion?
The bear and Orion.
So when did that come in? Because that's Greek, isn't it? The constellations.
Yes, the name of them. They just it's not in the Greek, in the Hebrew. It's not bear and Orion, but they just threw that in so we know it's the name of the constellation.
What does it say in the Hebrew?
Ash. Did that tell you anything?
No, what does it say to you?
Ash.
Okay.
Okay.
It's just the name.
Ash, Kashil, and Kima. Okay, fine. Or the bear and Orion and Pleiades. All right.
But can I just say something while we're stopped? I think it's really interesting that Job is pointing this out. I think while you've been going through this, I've been frustrated with my historically how I read Job. So I've really been getting a lot out of this. Mainly life sucks and then you die. But
Well, that's Job, yeah.
Yeah. So, but I think it's really lost on our culture. The fear of like God could squash you like a bug at any moment, but that like he's still God, and that there's a reverence there of God can do all these things, but he's God.
Well, remember who Job and the free prince are. They're wisdom moving people. So they've been telling people their whole life, do good and God will bless you. That's their orientation. And Job's just been thrown a curveball.
Right.
And so look, it's not like God's in the habit of doing this, but I'm telling you, he did it this time. That's actually where Job's at. And he's just going, yeah, remember he started off, I know what you're saying is true, but, and that's all he's doing here. He says, this doesn't fit. And how do you argue against God, for heaven's sake? He can manipulate things. So what I said was true a minute ago, but now it's not.
But I think people do in our culture by saying, but God is a loving God.
Right.
And yes, that's true.
We
And
have lost. Jewish tradition has a long tradition of arguing with God. We've lost that. Christians don't do that. You know, you don't argue with God. We sound like our friends. Don't do that. Don't argue with God. Why not?
Something happened to me last week and I was like, oh, okay, wait a minute. Why? Why is this happening to me? But then I had a very soft approach. Oh, you're right. He's God. I don't even know what it's all about. So.
And that's the thing. And Job's he's frustrated. He's looking at it and goes, look, I'm not perfect, but I sure as heck didn't deserve my kids to be killed and everything I own to be wiped out. I don't care on any scale, that doesn't fit. And I don't understand this. And God is normally just. This strikes me as not just. What do we do? And how do you argue against God? Verse 10.
there's great things beyond searching out, and marvelous things beyond number. Behold, he passes by me, and I see him not. He moves on, but I do not perceive him. Behold, he snatches away. Who can turn him back? Who will say to him, what are you doing? God will not turn back his anger. Beneath him bowed the helpers of Rahab.
Rahab is the ancient goddess of the deep, not Rahab, the prostitute in Jericho. That's the ESV there.
Oh, thank you. Sorry.
How then can I answer him, choosing my words with him? Choosing my words with him? Okay. Though I am in the right, I cannot answer him.
So notice what he's saying. I'm right, but how do I talk to God? And we have all been there, whether you believe it or not. When you got cancer the first time, you had a conversation along these lines.
And the third time, just to be clear.
Okay.
I mean, you can't, it's like, what do you argue? I mean, your prayer has to become different.
Death. The doctor went out of his way to say, you had nothing to do with this. You won the lottery in the negative fashion. It's just the luck of the genealogical dice. So she's got this condition. Now what are you going to do about it? And you sit there, and I love my girl, but she's actually said to Marianne, Mom, you don't know what it's like to have my body. And you just, what do you do with that? It breaks your heart. And just, So, though I'm in the right.
I must appeal for mercy to my accuser. If I summoned him and he answered me, I would not believe that he was listening to my voice, for he crushes me with a tempest and multiplies my wounds without cause.
By the way, this is foreshadowing, because later on, God's actually going to talk to him, and it's going to be out of a tornado. God's not subtle.
He will not let me get my breath, but he fills me with bitterness. If it is a contest of strength, behold, he is mighty. If it is a matter of justice, who can summon him? Though I am in the right, my own mouth would condemn me.
And so here, he doesn't even trust himself. I know I'm right, but how can I be?
If I am blameless, he would prove me perverse.
And of course, he's using the very words that were used of him at the beginning. He, in fact, is blameless. God himself said that. Okay, keep going.
I am blameless. I regard not myself. I loathe my life. It is all one. Therefore I say, he destroys both the blameless and the wicked. When disaster brings sudden death, he mocks at the calamity of the innocent.
So that is not what we like to hear. But if you were in Haiti when the flood struck, if you're in New Orleans during the hurricane? How do you not conclude that? Well, we don't. We work around it. We come up with ways, but the truth is, this is what it looks like. And I find it interesting. We have a book in the Bible that deals with this. Now, I don't know about the answers yet, but he certainly raises the questions. Verse 24.
Well, I'm okay with God being severe, and by okay, I mean, I've learned that God is severe, but mocks at the calamity of the innocent, that's mean.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's take a hurricane, throw it at New Orleans. Well, it's a wicked, vile city. Not everybody in the city is wicked and vile, and they suffered. So what's going on?
And I can logically say, I can think about the consequences of sin. I am not saying that New Orleans deserves or should be blamed for that. But I can still, in my head, say there was a consequence of even our sin that made whatever. But mocking us, who are innocent, mocking someone who is innocent.
Are we?
Are we what? Yeah, well,
That's the point.
well, none of us are truly innocent, right? Now Job is pissed off here too. So mocks may be overstating it. All right, 24.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covers the faces of its judges. If it is not he, then who is it?
You're in control. How are these bad guys in control?
My days are swifter than a rumor.
A runner.
Okay. They flee away. They say no good.
Do I need to make it bigger?
I mean, I
think it's the glue.
Sure, it's the glare. Right? They go by like skiffs of breed, like an eagle swooping on the prey. If I say, I will forget my complaint, I will put off my sad face and be of good cheer. I become afraid of all my suffering, for I know you will not hold me innocent. There's the point. I shall be condemned. Why then do I labor in vain? If I wash myself with snow and cleanse my hands with lye, yet you will plunge me into a pit, and my own clothes will abhor me.
And you go, boy, that's pretty strong.
Yeah.
But remember where he just came from. He is in fact blameless and upright. Fierce God turns from evil, and all Hades broke on the sun. It's been exactly this.
He is not a man as I am, that I might answer him, that we should come to the trial together.
Now, this is where a Christian reading of Job comes into play. Because we actually have this. Jesus becoming a man means he identifies with us in a way that Job's God never could. And so, I mean, Jesus suffered horribly. And the ultimate answer to Job is going to be in Jesus. But we have to pause and think about that. Not worthy of the punishment. You got this heinous verdict. So, and he's going to be replied. We get to interact with a human being. Don't forget that Jesus is a human even in heaven, resurrected. But he's Son of Man, he's called up there. And that's going to be not just human, of course, but still human that he can identify with us. Because this God can't. That's Joe's point. You're not a man. You don't know what it's like.
So Don, at this point in time, would Job understand what we call, I think it's called generational sin, where the sin of the fathers are
Passed down, yeah, that's forever. It's not pertinent here, though. No, it's not even pertinent. Remember, one of the one of the friends said your kids got zapped because they did evil. So it's going, what exactly? But even there, that wasn't generational. They had done their own sin, is what he accused them of. But they do have that concept. It's just not coming into the discussion here. 33.
There is no arbiter between us who might lay his hand on us both.
Now this is where the early church has picked this up and described Jesus as our arbiter. Allows us to interface, which is remarkable. Anyway, go ahead.
Let him take his rod away from me. Let not dread of him terrify me. And I would speak without fear of him, for I am not so in myself.
Look, I mean, if I'm going to face you in court, I can't be sitting there petrified. That's what he's saying. You got to remove so I can be honest. But I can't do it in myself too much. Now, Job's answer here continues in chapter 10. Okay, and you'll pick up. Oh, wait a minute. It's 10 o'clock. We have to go to coffee now. So somebody put a note when Job 10. I actually prepared.
Every week I've been bringing my Job notes to class, waiting for you to get to the good part.
Good.